And we're off. Aces sending out Alex Velez and Dinkle for the Wild. 9 reps, ground to overhead with 2 kettlebells. The weight for the men, 35 pounds per kettlebell and 25 for the ladies. Mork is out for the Wild and Medeiros for the Aces. They are going rep for rep. Aces with just a 1 rep lead. Now they head into their pistol stick jump overs. The stick 6 inches off the ground for males and females in this first quadrant. Hands are up from our referees. Both teams, both players onto the females. They've got 9 reps, pistol stick jump overs, 6 inches off the ground. 2 reps left for the Aces, 1 rep. Oh, and the Aces have moved ahead by just about 1 rep. They are now in the second quadrant, 7 reps. Ground to overhead, that kettlebell for the gentlemen, 45 pounds, 35-pound kettlebell for the ladies. Medeiros making lightweight of those ground to overhead. Mork still in for the Wild. She's got 2 reps left. Velez for the Aces has moved on to the pistol stick jump overs. His stick in that second quadrant, also 12 inches for both males and females in this quadrant. And it looks like they are just about 2 reps ahead. The Aces are 2 reps ahead of the Wild. Aces have 1 rep remaining. They are going to change out their players. McNeil and Stalling heading in to that third quadrant. Mork finishing up her last rep in quadrant number 2 for the Wild. McNeil going ground to overhead with 53-pound kettlebells. Stalling, same deal, 45 pounds for her kettlebells. 5 reps apiece, and then they're gonna head to the pistol stick jump overs. Still leading the Wild by a few reps. McNeil doing those pistols over a 15-inch pole off the ground. Stalling, she has a 12-inch pole off the ground. All she has to do is hit that pistol and then show control with the 1-footed jump. Looking good so far. And the Aces are in the fourth quadrant, looking to try to take this first race of the day. They have 3 reps ground overhead, kettlebell 70 pounds for the men, 53 for the ladies. Stalling, 1 rep remaining. McNeil, he's now heading into his pistol jump overs. He's got 1 left. The Wild now moving on to their pistol sticks, but it looks like there's 1 rep remaining for the Aces, and Stalling is going to take it through the finish line. The Wild will finish just a few seconds behind. 2 seconds to the Aces, 2 points to the Aces, 1 point to the Wild, and we'll move on to our next race.
My name's Trisha Davis. I'm originally from Jamaica, and then I moved to New York, and now I reside here in Florida. Well, I do have a sports background. I come from a background on my dad's side. He comes from a line of sprinters, so I guess I got a lot of my athletic ability from him. And then throughout middle school, once I moved down to Florida, that's when I discovered sports. So throughout middle school, all the way throughout college, I moved from track to weightlifting, basketball. I played rugby in college. So doing all that stuff, I guess it kind of prepared me for grit. And then after college, I started with CrossFit. This year, at the beginning of the year, I've been working on trying to move out of my comfort zone. I guess that's where I found the strength to do however many power cleans of 205. I think I did 5 or 6. Fun fact, the very last practice last Sunday, I had no idea I could do that. I just want everyone to know that I never did that in my life.
I love Element Salt a lot.
Hardcore Element user.
Element's been awesome.
Element.
I've been using Element basically every day. I love it.
I was, back to working out and wanted to make sure that I stayed hydrated because that's so important for your supply.
It was a game changer for me because all through high school and college, I would always cramp. This generally comes from that mineral imbalance. Having Element T, in my training bag keeps me hydrated. It's phenomenal.
It rejuvenates me in the workout. It's what my body craves and it's what it needs after sweating so much. It's definitely helped me get through really long, tough workouts and just give me the energy that I need in order to keep pushing through.
Coming into the snatch ladder this year, I didn't think I'd really be able to clear it because I haven't been training at all. I've snatched heavy once in 7 months. So the very first snatch ladder I ever did was against the Sharks in 2017. That was when I was training a lot, like 2 to 3 hours a day, and I had like full confidence in myself that I was gonna clear it, and then I missed it. And then I was super bummed. 2019, super confident. I was still snatching regularly, heavy, regularly, weekly, and I still missed it. Okay, so then last year, and I did it at the All-Star match, and so I was like, okay, maybe if I just run up and hit the last bar. I skipped all 3 bars just so I could try to hit 165, and I still missed it. 2022, zero confidence in myself. I had hurt my wrist at Wodapalooza, so I didn't snatch heavy in 7 months. I literally had zero confidence, like in my head and on our game plan, I was just gonna go 1 through 3. I wasn't even gonna attempt number 4, but then I hit 165 in the warm-up area before the match started, and I'm like, oh, okay, that felt really good. I didn't want to get too confident because I've never been able to clear it, so I was like, okay, maybe if I feel good on 1 through 3, I'll make the attempt at it. But I hit 1 and 2, hit the 3rd bar, really easy. Going up to the 4th, like I think I have a 50-50 chance. I'm giving it a go. So I was like, I knew I had like an extra few seconds to like set up and like take a deep breath before I get to the bar. But I knew as soon as I hit the hole, like in the bottom, that I had it, and I was super excited. I got thinking about it afterwards, like going into this match as a whole, like I thought there was a 0% chance that I would hit that ladder. The only thing that I have changed, besides training a lot less than the previous years, is take Kion consistently. I take Kion every single day. It obviously helps my recovery and muscle building because without it, I don't think there's any way I would have cleared the snatch ladder. So seriously, if you're looking for an advantage, you got to give it a try.
Fitness has always been very important to me, but it wasn't until I started eating better that I realized like that takes your fitness to the next level. My evolution to becoming a nutrition coach kind of started in 2012. And that's when I graduated grad school and started applying the things that I've been learning. So when I started OPB Nutrition, I realized there's just such a void in actual nutrition education. And with so much crap out there on social media and in ads and everything of just misinformation and people falling for these scams and everything, I call it fighting food crime. I wanted to fight against those people. Just so many like overnight results and like quick fixes and stuff like that. And it's really, when you do it correctly, it's just, you gotta get a little bit better every single day. Nutrition education, accountability, and sustainability. 1% better nutrition.
Quadrant. They have 7 reps each of hang snatches, 175 pounds for the men, 115 for the ladies. The Wild are just a little bit ahead of the Aces as they head into this 3rd quadrant. Things are really starting to pick up here. They are repping it away. 3 reps remaining for both teams. This is going to come down to the last quadrant. Aces, Wild, both going into quadrant number 4. They cannot set down those bars until both genders have completed both sets of 7. Looks like the Wild have 3 reps remaining. Aces, 3 reps, and the Wild take the mirror race. That was a close one. Both teams finish under the cap. We'll be right back.
The Peachy shorts are squat proof. They hold up for burpees. Hands down, they're my favorite things to wear. Squat test, I think we're good to go.
These leggings are to die for. So stretchy, super comfy.
They look cute, they feel good, they don't pinch on the sides. The legs are always loose enough and they don't dig in.
They don't move, which I appreciate because I'm one of the curvier girls.
I like them. They're great.
Love everything about them.
I'm really digging the Peachy. I've loved wearing Peachy athletics this year.
Looking peachy.
All right, we are now heading into our home team ringer point. This one has been chosen by the Aces, 5 clusters at 205 for the gentlemen or 135 for the lady. For the ladies, Aces are sending out Taylor Stalling and the Wild are sending out Ruby. They've got 5 clusters. That is a squat, clean, thruster, and then they will sprint through the finish line. And the Aces have thrown their bonus flag, so whoever takes this race will take the extra point for the bonus.
30 seconds. That's it, people. Hype these players up. It's player against player.
And we are just a few moments away from this home team ringer point. 5 clusters at 205 pounds for the gentlemen or 135 for the ladies. 5 reps total. This one will be quick.
Ready. Stand by. Race.
And they are off. They are going to sprint into that 4th quadrant. Barbell 205 for gentlemen, 135 for the ladies. They are neck and neck. 2 reps remaining for Stalling. 1 rep remaining. The Aces have taken the race and the bonus point for throwing the flag before that race. That was led by their head coach and strength specialist, Taylor Stalling.
So when I first downloaded the app, Antidote, I didn't obviously expect to use it right away because nobody really just downloads an app to hopefully get sick and use it. But I had downloaded it the week of October 2nd. And that weekend, I started to feel some stuff going on in my sinus areas on like that Friday and Saturday, and I'm thinking, I'm fine, nothing's a big deal, it's fine. Because that following week I had Wodapalooza qualifiers, I had my grid championships that next weekend, so I knew I could not get sick. And then Sunday, I woke up and it just hit me, and I was like, no. So, but then like a cheesy commercial, I like realized I have the Antidote app. And that's when I was like, all right, we're gonna use it and see what happens. So I opened it up, I just answered a couple easy questions. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't have like super high expectations because I'd never used like telehealth before, but within 20 minutes, I was face to face with a doctor and he just asked me a couple simple questions and I was able to get a prescription to help kind of soothe all my symptoms and get me better for that weekend. So it was just saved me a lot of time, a lot of frustration, all this stuff. So I was pleasantly surprised of how easy it was to use and get what I needed done.
I'm Dr. Jamie here with the Box Doc, and we are going to talk a little bit about staying safe with your kipping movements while doing movements like the double touch and the triple touch. So first off, if we aren't capable of doing toes to bar, chest to bar, and bar muscle ups, we should work on those things separately before you start getting into putting them together. But this is kind of a length tensionship relationship as well. And what we're trying to do here is maintain our body in good tension as we start moving through these patterns. If you do a toes to bar and you are too far underneath the rig, you're going to lose all your tension when you try to pop up into that pull-up position. So one of the things that you'll see is people will actually come back pretty far on the toes to bar so that they can drive through and get their chest to the bar for that next part of the movement. The triple touch is no different, except for you, instead of going back into the toes to bar, you're going to go now into that bar muscle up. So most of the faults that we see with the double touch and triple touch can also kind of mimic the just regular kipping pattern, whether you're doing butterfly pull-ups or butterfly chest to bar in regards to the front part of your shoulder. So if we're missing that range of motion going through, we're gonna really struggle with that kip. If we're having pain as we pull and we fall through, you're gonna struggle when we start to do that butterfly. So what we're gonna try to do is make sure that we have available range of motion, but also the strength that we need to be able to move into those patterns.
All right, we are back live with the Northern Conference Championship. Orlando Aces and the Gainesville Wild. Current score 6-4, Aces leading just slightly as they took that last home team ringer point. They threw their bonus flag and took 3 points for winning that race. The Wild took 1 point for finishing under the time cap. Now we're gonna move on to the Echo. And the Echo is just like it sounds. It is run through 2 times. So we will do this 1 time all the way through. There will be a 45-second reset and then do it 1 more time through. Quite often you will see that these teams, maybe one team will win the first Echo and then the other team takes the second, just from simply being worn out from the beginning. Here we go. This will start with 1 male, 1 female out on the grid at a time. And off we go. 1 male, 1 female, starting with 30 overhead squats for the males or front squats for the ladies, sharing a barbell at a weight of 155 pounds. Nate Jansen is out on the floor for the Aces. And for the Wild, we've got Shappy. Shappy passing that barbell on to Zimmer. She's knocking away at those front squats. They are already 20 reps in. 5 reps remain for the Aces, 4 reps for the Wild. After this, they are moving on to 20 dumbbell burpee over a 20-inch box. That dumbbell is 50 pounds in each hand for the gentlemen and 35 for the ladies. The Aces have McNeil and Davis on the grid. The Wild have Dinkle and Nally are out for the Wild. Both teams rep for rep as they work through these 20 repetitions. Once again, those dumbbells, 50 pounds for the gentlemen, 35 for the ladies. I see a hand up from our referees for the Aces. 3 reps remaining for those step overs. Wild have 2 more. The Aces have moved on. The Aces now have 30 double touches, a double touch, toes to bar to chest to bar. Alex Velez out on the grid for the Aces. RJ Hibbert for the Wild. Both gentlemen making that movement look very easy. Not as easy as it looks, I can tell you that much. It looks like Mork is out there for the Wild when she needs to take over for Hibbert. Velez has tapped out. Medeiros on the bar for the Aces. And Massey, he's running across the grid, getting ready for those hang cleans or hang snatches. And let's see who gets to that 4th quadrant first. 4 reps remaining for the Aces. 4 reps remaining. Hibbert trying to finish for the Wild. 3 reps remain for the Wild. Both teams stuck at this double touch. Little bit of frustration. 1 rep remaining for Hibbert. 2 reps remaining for Medeiros, who is going to take this echo. And the Wild have moved on to their hang cleans, 125 pounds. We've got Raider for the Wild, Massey for the Aces. Raider passes that bar on. And they've got a few reps remaining. They are neck and neck, Stallings and the Wild, Aces in the Wild, 1 rep remaining. And the Wild are going to take the first echo. Stallings trying to finish up under cap, and she will. The Wild have taken the first echo. We are resetting, only 45 seconds. Don't go anywhere. We are going to run this thing back one more time. That was a close race. Now everybody heading back to the start line. Wild have taken the first race of the echo. Now we do everything one more time again. Hold on to your... All right. Moving on to the second half of this echo race. We are 10 seconds out. Kicking things off again with that 155-pound bar. Here we go. And they are off once again. This time we've got Scott for the Aces, repping out those front squats. Shappy for the Wild, hitting those overhead squats at 155 pounds. Zimmer now taking over for the front squats for the Wild. And Jansen hitting those overhead squats for the Aces. Looks like there was a fault for the Aces. Didn't stand that one all the way up. 2 reps remaining for the Wild here. And the Wild have moved on. They are now with their dumbbell stepovers. Once again, 50 pounds for those dumbbells for the gentlemen, 35 for the ladies. The Aces now moving on to their box stepovers. They are a few reps behind, but anything can happen on the grid. Both teams working as hard as they can to get through these 20 repetitions of dumbbell burpee over a 20-inch box. They are halfway through for the Aces, and we have 4 reps remaining for the Wild. 2 reps remaining now for the Wild. 4 reps for the Aces, so they have a 2-rep lead. Wild have a 2-rep lead. 3 now. They have started their double touches. The Wild have absolutely gone wild here in this second half of the Echo race. We have Lasso on the bar for the Aces, trying to knock out as many double touches as he can. Ruby and Mork for the Wild, once again chipping away at 30 double touches, toes to bar to chest to bar. Just 5 reps left for the Wilds, 10 reps left for the Aces. Anything can happen here. There has been a fault for the Wild. 5 reps remaining for the Aces. There is a window open for the Aces in this race. 1 rep remaining. The Aces have now pulled ahead. They have 30 repetitions in this 4th quadrant. That barbell, 125 pounds. Massey making it look light for those hang snatches. Handing over to Stallings. Stallings, 125-pound hang cleans. She is repping it out. They are playing catch up, but this is going to be their second half. Stallings, just a few reps remaining. She's been faulted. 2 reps, 1 rep. And the Aces take the second half of the Echo by just about 1 second. So that Echo has now been split between both teams, each taking 2 points for winning each of their respective races and 1 point each for finishing under that cap.
Using your 9 essential amino acids can boost your performance, your energy, and build lean muscle mass and help you lean out at the same time. I feel completely energized. My recovery, my workouts feels awesome. I don't feel like I'm really sore. I can immediately go into my workouts the next day. Feels great.
I'm Dr. Jamie here with the Box Doc, and we are going to talk about the butterfly ring muscle up and how to safely perform this movement. Before you start doing butterfly ring muscle ups, a couple things we should have under our belt as a prerequisite. If you can't string together 5 to 8 regular ring muscle ups, probably shouldn't be starting to perform this movement yet. Also, if we can't do maybe 2 to 3 strict ring muscle ups, this is another thing that we should probably hold off on until we build that prerequisite strength so that you can do this movement safely. We can do the butterfly ring muscle up 2 different ways. You can start from the top of the movement, or you can go back into the dip before you reach out into that extension pattern. But the goal here is creating a length tension relationship with the rings and your body. So what you don't want to do is come down and see the slack in the ring. You see the slack and you let out the slack. What that's going to do is at the bottom, it's going to kind of jerk you and put a lot of stress through those shoulders. What we want to do, whether you're moving from the top or here, is push those rings away and keep that tension without any slack on those rings so that you can get in that nice tight Superman position before you go back into that next muscle up. If you do this, it will actually make the muscle up easier because you will start swinging in a pattern that's going to basically set you up into that next muscle up. But if you lose that tension on those straps, you're going to start swinging all over the place and you're going to feel really jerky at the bottom.
I didn't think they were going to be good because they were frozen, but they're amazing.
Definitely can't find any healthy foods at an event, so this is awesome.
My favorite meals to eat.
Yeah, well.
I love Element Salt a lot.
Hardcore Element user.
Element's been awesome.
Element.
Element.
Well,
I've been using Element basically basically every day. I love it.
I was, back to working out and wanted to make sure that I stayed hydrated because that's so important for your supply.
It was a game changer for me because all through high school and college, I would always cramp. This generally comes from that mineral imbalance. Having Element T, in my training bag keeps me hydrated. It's phenomenal.
It rejuvenates me in the workout. It's what my body craves and it's what it needs after sweating so much. It's definitely helped me get through really long, tough workouts and just give me the energy that I need in order to keep pushing through.
If I were to choose between a tire more, you can add weight, you can do multiple different exercises. With a tire, you're kind of stuck with the weight that you have and can only do very simple movements, probably on the top of my head, just like deadlifts and tire flips with it. With the flip sled, you can do so much more. Pushing, pulling, flipping, squats, the whole 9 yards.
The fact that you can actually add as much weight as you want for your big lifters and then still be wide enough for your female athletes as well. Not have to have so much square footage space for like tires. Okay, I mean, if you have different levels of tires, I mean, have 10 of them, that's a lot of square footage. And for a gym owner, I mean, you need as much square footage for your clientele as possible.
All right, we are back heading into our next race. This is the ladder. Now, the way this works is these teams will have a 4-minute window to send out each of their 10 players, alternating between male and female. In each quadrant, each player has the opportunity to lift, in each quadrant, they will be doing thrusters for this ladder. So, gentlemen's weight in quadrant 1, 205 pounds, quadrant 2, 225 pounds, 245 pounds for the third, and final bar for the men is 265 pounds. For the ladies, quadrant 1 is a 130-pound barbell, 145 pounds in quadrant 2, quadrant 3 is 160, and in quadrant 4, 175 pounds. And they are off. Zimmer for the Wild, starting in barbell number 1, no problem. Scott for the Aces, not a problem with her barbell. Both hitting their thrusters at 145 pounds. Scott for the Aces, 160, not a problem. Zimmer, 160, faulted. That one did not count for hers. And Scott does land her 175-pound thruster. Jansen for the Aces hits his first barbell at 205. Jansen, 225, not a problem. Kidder for the Aces, Kidder for the Wild hits his third barbell, and he hits his fourth barbell for 265. Jansen as well for the Aces. Blow out on the grid for the Wild, barbell number 2, no problem. Davis for the Aces, she's on barbell number 3, 160 pounds, got it. Both of these ladies making that bar look very light. 175-pound thruster for each of them, and both teams lock that one up. Shappy for the Wild, Andrada for the Aces, both heading out onto the grid. Both no problem with their first 205-pound barbell. 225, both not a problem. Shappy, Andrada, both. Andrada hits 245 pounds. Shappy heads out, sends in the next player. Andrada locks it out, 265 pounds for the Aces. Now we've got Raider. She is in the third quadrant, lifting 160 pounds. This is lightweight for her. former professional strongwoman. She makes that look like no problem. Taylor Stalling, coach and strength specialist for the Aces. She's got that weight, no issue. And Raider also lands her bar for the Wild. Massey now out for the Aces. Takes that first barbell without issue. He's gonna head off so they can bring in their next player. Boom. And the Wild. That looks like Rundle out there. Rundle, he's gonna go for the thruster now. No good. Boyd, she hit her third barbell. They are receiving a point respective to their quadrant. Quadrant 1 is worth 1 point. Quadrant 2, 2. 3 is worth 3, and obviously 4 is worth 4 points. The more points, the better. This will come down to just a few points at the end of this race. Velez hits 245 pounds without issue. Velez, no good at 265. RJ Hibbard now out for the Wild. He hits his first barbell. RJ Hibbard, no problem, barbell number 2. Now he heads to that 245-pound bar. Got it. Maderos for the Aces. She's bringing up this 160-pound bar, and she's got it. RJ Hibbard just locked out, 265 for the Wild. They've got 5 seconds remaining. Mork and McNeil both able to get their 2 movements. And it looks like McNeil is going to squeeze in that second thruster at 225 pounds. These scores will be calculated, and when we come back, we'll let you know who took that ladder race. We'll be right back.
You've got Sam Martin and head coach Chris Garan.
I'm Samuel Martin. I play for the Gainesville Wild.
Chris Garan, Tampa Bay Brigade.
And we are off. Suicide sprints, taking it back to the gym. Garan and Martin. Martin with a slight lead right now. Going to that third quadrant, and we are sprinting down. Sam Martin, Chris Garan. Here we go. Sam Martin takes. Wait a second, they're going back down. We got one more. Mishap by Sam Martin. Chris Garan steps up. Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Martin, Chris Garan. Chris Garan takes the ringer point race. Chris Garan takes the ringer point race.
That one gave me a lot of PTSD. I didn't know how far the distance was, and so it's like running a 400-meter race as a 100-meter. And so it was, by the end, legs were gone. Between then and now, I had got my USA Track and Field Level 1 certification. I got a conditioning running certification, and I took back my college notebook and started practicing for the sprints again. And I made sure this time I wasn't going to lose, so can't do that twice.
So Sam is super fast. Like, there's no way that I should have ever beat him in anything that involves sprinting. But yeah, just, you know, a little fault on my end. I just didn't get my other hand down to touch, and that really kind of threw it out of whack because we obviously didn't get any points for that one because I finished 20% less than he finished. So that threw a wrench in the plans. You know, you never plan to lose, but I figured if he were to run a clean race, unlike the first time when him and I were falling all over the place.
Lily moved in, huh? How's that going? Amazing.
My former office is now home to Lily's dog, Peanut. And houseplants. Lily loves houseplants. Oh, and Lily's brother is crashing here.
And it's no day never.
He has a lot of friends. But the best part, Lily put me on this new soda, Olipop. It's actually good for you. 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 Amazing, right?
I'm a
firefighter. I sweat and train in gear. I reach over 100 degrees of body temp internally, like while I'm working, and I sweat so much that just pure water isn't enough to replenish me. I do need the actual electrolytes. So this is really helpful. It has the electrolytes, minerals, and vitamins inside that I need, and it tastes really good. It's nice to have, especially to carry with me in this little packet. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It's not in a big jar, and it's good. It tastes great.
It's Dr. Jamie here with the Box Doc, and we are going to talk about some safety tips when doing freestanding handstand push-ups, or really any kind of handstand push-ups in general. The most important thing we need to look at is our neck posture. So we don't want to be coming down with our neck extended. That puts a lot of compression through our cervical spine. If you are getting a lot of pain when you do handstand push-ups in your neck, we need to either look at the mechanics or check your strength. There are definitely ways that we can strengthen your neck muscles to be able to better support you into those positions. So there are a few different ways we can strengthen the muscles in the neck. We can do stuff lying on your back. We can actually do some neck work with some bands. The other thing to really focus on in a freestanding handstand push-up would be actually just holding that tripod position and getting comfortable being vertical with your neck in a good position.
All right, we are back with the away team ringer. This was chosen by the Wild. They have 4 rope climbs. Davis for the Aces, Martin for the Wild. Don't blink, this is gonna be a quick one. And they're off. They're gonna sprint to this rope in the 3rd quadrant. They have 4 rope climbs to the 15-foot mark, then to sprint through the finish line. This was chosen by the Wild, the away team for today. 1 rep remaining for the Aces, 1 rep remaining for the Wild. The Aces have taken the away ringer point that was chosen by the Wild. 2 points going to the Aces, celebrating, going wild. The Wild will get 1 point for finishing under that cap, but they will not take the race overall. We're gonna reset for Jack and Jill, and we will be back with you.
I can't get enough of grid. Fell in love with grid after, competing in CrossFit for many years as a regional athlete. Grid was an opportunity for me to kind of showcase my specialty, which is strength. It's all about the heavy barbells and just moving fast, but it's surely evolving into more. Some of my big fitness goals here recently. Wodapalooza this year is big on the agenda, qualifying in the Submasters division. That's really my main focus. Element has been a game changer for me. Being from Texas, it is always hot and humid. There's just points throughout your training sessions or at the end of the day when I'm coaching that I'm just lethargic and I'm just tired. I've noticed a big difference in just using Element throughout the day, just my overall hydration and how I feel. Far less muscle cramps at night. I find that I sleep better when I drink it before I go to bed as well, and I'm seeing the dividends really pay off. If you haven't tried Element, you gotta give it a try. It's salty AF.
If I were to choose between a tire and a flip sled, I would 1000% choose flip sled. You can just do more. You can add weight, you can do multiple different exercises. With a tire, you're kind of stuck with the weight that you have and can only do very simple movements, probably on the top of my head, just like deadlifts and tire flips with it. With the flip sled, you can do so much more. Pushing, pulling, flipping, squats, the whole 9 yards.
The fact that you can actually add as much weight as you want for your big lifters and then still be light enough for your female athletes as well, not have to have so much square footage space for like tires. Okay, I mean, if you have different levels of tires, I mean, have 10 of them, that's a lot of square footage, and for a gym owner, I mean, you need as much square footage for your clientele as possible.
All right, we are back in the action. Northern Conference Championship heading into the Jack and Jill race. Before we get to that, quickly, I will recap the ladder race has been calculated. Score 70 to 60 going to the aces for that ladder. So they will receive 2 points for winning that race. Now we are going to move on to the Jack and Jill. But we'll be right back with you in just a moment. All right. We are heading into Jack and Jill. This is a great opportunity for these teams to showcase their body weight specialists. With Jack and Jill, they have 30 bar muscle ups, 20 ring muscle ups, and finishing with 5 backward roll to support. Only one person can work at a time. And they are off. 1 male, 1 female from each team. Looks like Medeiros and Velez for the aces, and Nally and Martin for the wild. Now, if you notice, the technique both teams are using is called a waterfall technique. This allows a little bit of rest for each player, but also allows less time between repetitions. Easy way to chip away at those 30 bar muscle ups. Now it looks like Velez is going to continue for the aces. Nally still knocking out those muscle ups for the wild. And Boyd is out there for the aces. 5 reps remain for the aces. The wild are done with their muscle ups. They are heading on now to ring muscle ups. Rundle, he's doing a butterfly technique. Very difficult. Lasso for the aces, also with that butterfly technique. Both players, fantastic gymnasts. Watching these guys rep for rep. Both of them trying to chip away at these 20 ring muscle ups. The Wild only have 7 reps remaining. 9 reps remaining for the aces. Lasso, a little out of control there, gaining control, heading back into those muscle ups. And it looks like Meg Adams, she's knocking out those muscle ups. Lasso, 5 reps remaining for the aces, 2 reps for the Wild. Justin Adams going in for the Wild. He's got 3 reps remaining in the back row to support. Aces now starting theirs. They've got Blatt on the rings, but the Wild are going to take this race. Aces still have a few reps remaining and 30 seconds to get through that finish line. Now the Wild are going to take this race. They will receive 2 points. The Aces will receive 1 for keeping it under that cap, making this a very tight race, or a very tight match as we head into the next race.
I'm Dr. Jamie here with the Box Doc, and we are going to talk about the butterfly ring muscle up and how to safely perform this movement. Before you start doing butterfly ring muscle-ups, a couple things we should have under our belt as a prerequisite. If you can't string together 5 to 8 regular ring muscle-ups, probably shouldn't be starting to perform this movement yet. Also, if we can't do maybe 2 to 3 strict ring muscle-ups, this is another thing that we should probably hold off on until we build that prerequisite strength so that you can do this movement safely. We can do the butterfly ring muscle-up 2 different ways. You can start from the top of the movement, or you can go back into the dip before you reach out into that extension pattern. But the goal here is creating a length tension relationship with the rings and your body. So what you don't want to do is come down and see the slack in the ring. You see the slack and you let out the slack. What that's going to do is at the bottom, it's going to kind of jerk you and put a lot of stress through those shoulders. What we want to do, whether you're moving from the top or here, is push those rings away and keep that tension without any slack on those rings so that you can get in that nice tight Superman position before you go back into that next muscle up. If you do this, it will actually make the muscle up easier because you will start swinging in a pattern that's going to basically set you up into that next muscle up. But if you lose that tension on those straps, you're going to start swinging all over the place and you're going to feel really jerky at the bottom.
My name is Kara Palumbo. I play for the Southwest Florida Sharks, and I am a bodyweight specialist. So I was born in Illinois, Lansing, Illinois. The high school I attended was Mariner High School. It's located in Cape Coral, where I originally live in right now. I didn't really play too many sports in high school. I played like recreational soccer here and there. I was a big nerd in high school. After college, I got a 4-year degree in business. I had a couple friends that went to EMT school and fire school, and I kind of like saw what they went through. I'm like, hey, that's really cool, you know? Like, I don't want to be stuck behind a desk all day for 8 hours, 9 hours a day, just sitting there. So I saw what my friends went through. They came back and told me stories of, you know, what they were doing, what they saw. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to EMT school. So I went to EMT school. I was like, okay, this is cool. Then there was a position open for fire school. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna apply. Got into fire school and just kind of ran from there. You know, I went to paramedic school after that. Every day is different. Going to work every day, you never know what's gonna happen. You could get a fire, a medical call, anything. It's just, I like not knowing what's gonna happen at work. A lesson I would like to share from being a firefighter is always put in the work and never stop learning. You don't wanna be that complacent firefighter. You wanna be the one who takes classes and brings that knowledge back to your department and teach the newer people. So fitness has helped me, obviously, getting into shape to be able to pass fire school and the CPAT and, you know, be able to get a job. And it has continued to help me just from having a nice routine. You know, like I said, not being complacent. I'm always training at the gym. I like to mimic stuff that could be thrown at me on the fire ground and just keep getting stronger and just trying to keep working. Some advice I'd like to give to someone that is on the firefighting path trying to get a job is don't let other people tell you what you can and can't do. If you see a goal, go for it. Don't let anybody tell you you're too small or you can't do it or blah, 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 you're never gonna make it. You know, go out there and prove them wrong. Go to the gym, work out, study, get with friends, do ride-alongs. Just keep working towards that end goal, and I promise you, you'll make it. When I started, I was 27 years old. If I could go back, I would do it out of high school. That's how great it is. I'd like to give a shout out to my dad. He's always been there for me. He raised me to always work hard, put in the time and effort into, you know, what I want to accomplish, and to never complain, basically. So I just want to say thank you, Dad, for always believing in me and teaching me a great lesson in how to put in the hard work and how to get through this thing we call life.
Florida Sharks take the sprint relay.
All right, folks, we are back and live with the action from the Northern Conference Championship here in Lakeland, Florida at Valor Fitness. Next race coming up, the triad for the ladies. 3 females on the grid at a time. They will each have to chip away at their own repetitions for each movement. They can tag in and out as they wish, but they cannot move on as a team to the next movement until they have completed all 3 areas. And here we go. Kettlebell swings, 25 of them for these ladies, starting at 53 pounds. Once again, they can chip away at this any way they wish. They can tag in and out however they want. There usually is some strategic planning when it comes to the triad. This is a little bit of a longer race, some harder movements, and you tend to see some communication errors and failure as you move into the later portions of the race. Anything can happen here out on the grid. Referees' hands are up for the Aces and the Wild. Aces have about a 1 rep lead. Both teams now moving on. 15 chest-to-bars. Aces have started their chest-to-bar. 2 of the 3 ladies have begun. Wild now starting with their chest-to-bar. Boyd, Medeiros, and Durant for the Aces. Mork, Adams, and Nally for the Wild. All chipping away at these 15 chest-to-bar pull-ups. Now, both teams moving on to 15 wall balls, 14-pound wall ball, up to a 10-foot target. Both teams neck and neck in the wall balls. They are. We see hands going up for all referees. Neck and neck, Wild and the Aces. Okay, the Aces have now moved on to their next movement, the 3 freestanding handstand push-ups. Once again, anybody can complete these reps, but they cannot move on until they have completed all 3 in each. Aces have pulled ahead now in this triad. Final station, 15 hang squat cleans at 100 pounds. Once again, anything can still happen here. Wild trying to play catch up. Just about a minute left on this time cap. I see the ref's hands for the Aces. 5 reps remaining. 4 reps remaining for the Aces. Hands have now gone up for one of the reps for the Wild. And it looks like the Aces have 5 reps remaining still. 4 reps remaining in still one of their stations. The Wild may catch up and take, and they do. The Wild somehow have come back in this 4th quadrant and taken this race from the Aces. 2 points are now going to the Wild. The Aces will receive 1 for keeping under the cap, but that just makes this match that much closer as we head in to our next race, the triad for the gentlemen. and Joquera are out there for the Aces. R.J. Hibbard, Adams, and Martin are out on the grid for the Wild. There seems to be a communication error with the Aces. The Wild are banging through these wall balls. These wall balls are 30-pound wall balls to a 10-foot target. And the hands are up for the Wild. They're gonna move on now to their freestanding handstand push-ups. Just 3 reps apiece, and then the final quadrant, they will have those hang squat cleans. And it looks like the Wild have moved on to the hang squat cleans. The Aces are close to catching them. Let's see what happens in the final seconds of this race. Aces still trying to catch up. The Wild are knocking out these 15 squat cleans, 155-pound barbell for these gentlemen. Just a few reps left for the Wild. Aces quite a ways behind. I don't think they can come back here. And I would be correct there. The Wild have taken the triad and the bonus point. Now, the Aces still need to finish under cap to receive 1 point to keep this thing close. 2 reps remaining for the Aces and about 45 seconds on that clock. And McNeil will get that final. Oh, Andrada has 2 reps remaining for the Aces. Last rep, he's got it. Still plenty of time on that clock. So the Wild took that race. They threw their bonus flag. They will receive 3 points, and the Aces will receive 1 for keeping it under the cap. We will be right back with the final race of the match.
Thank you for coming and saying
no problem. So Chris, on the last muscle-up, had a hard time getting the last one, so I jumped in, got it, super easy, felt like butter, and then I went to the flipper and went to work. Hey, it's 0-0 now. Go, go, go. Let's go. This is our race. This is nobody else's. Stand up for what you got. Let's go and win this right now. Let's go. Let's go. Eyes on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go.
Shot, son. Got it.
Did you get that kiss?
That's love, bro. That's love. Fight to the finish.
Ease me off. I don't care about losing. If we lose, I said, fit a fucking team. You know this shit what happened 10 minutes ago. We start over now. You understand? I am so sick and tired. I don't mind losing, but I mind when I have an entire team of people acting like children. Squash it and become friends now.
Being a professional strongwoman, we flip heavy objects all the time, so it's right in my wheelhouse. You know, when stuff's flying at you fast, you just fall on your ass, but, you know, it sucks because in the first race, that happened, and I feel like our team lost the race, and if I could have caught it, we would have been better. So we made a little shift in how we were doing the flipper for the second round, and I think it paid off. So you know, we're learning as we go. I wish we knew it all so we could just crush everybody and everything, so. Beer cake.
For the next hour, let's just tune in. Do that palm thing, right?
Do that palm thing and win.
We're better than everybody knows we're better.
up to that. Not like a layup, that's for sure, right? We got 2 weeks to master our and we're gonna come out and knock out the only team in the North that has ever won a title. We got 2 weeks to rest up, make sure Josh fixes every broken part of our bodies. I think I need a fucking casket. We're gonna make sure that we are ready to go in 2 weeks.
Slow it down. Y'all are like coming out here like you're trying to just like chaos. Slow it down.
Hey! Don't go! You got 2 more! You got 2 more! End of the game and miscommunication. Their communication on the side.
I got a pee! Let's just use your up. You got this. What? All day.
Heavyweight.
Nick's doing the ringer. It's going to be a striptease.
Oh! How can y'all get so lucky?
Am I doing it?
No, you got.
Hey, guys, I'm trying to lift this weight.
Everybody want to be a bodybuilder, but nobody want to lift this heavy ass weight. Ooh, man, handcuffs.
Listen, you can play this in Florida Grip League. If I don't see him on the Florida Grip, he's real. I want 100 Ks for this video, 100 likes, 100 comments, and 100 new followers. Yes, I need new followers.
They just do the bonus flag second race of the match because they think they're stronger than you. Yeah, go show them what it's about. Punch them in the ground. Let's go.
You get through the bonus flag?
For this?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
For me, my success has only made them envious. They got upset. I had to put all their egos in check.
The moment. Wait. Do you used to do bodybuilding?
Yes.
I can tell. There you go.
Oh, I thought you were taking a picture.
All right, folks, we are back, and we are at the sprint relay, the final race of the match. Now, the Aces have a slight lead, 16-15 over the Wild. It is going to come down to this race. When these two teams faced each other this season, it also came down to this last race. So, what we have, whoever wins this race will win and move on to the championship this afternoon at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time against the Fort Lauderdale Lions. We are 20 seconds away from the final race of our Northern Conference Championships, the sprint relay. This is going to kick off with 10 double dumbbell shoulder to overhead at 60 pounds.
Referees ready, players ready. Stand by.
And they are off. Andrade and Rundle for the Wild, both going rep for rep. Andrade having an issue, correcting. He's all right. Both teams have to, whoever finishes much touch behind the start line, then sprint through the finish. Scott and Blow running through the finish. Now both teams heading into their 20 handstand push-ups. They are neck and neck as they bang through these 20 handstand push-ups. Medeiros for the Wild. Adams for the Wild. Medeiros for the Aces, both sprinting through the finish. Now we've got Blatt and Hibbard going head to head on their 4 back uprise. Blatt making that look very easy. That is much more difficult than it seems. He is now sprinting through the finish. The Aces with a slight lead over the Wild. Joqueta heading up for his 3 legless rope climbs. The Wild now trying to play catch up. They are just about 1 rep behind. Joqueta has 1 rep remaining. He's struggling to get to the top. The window is open for the Wild. They are able to both finish. This is going to be a literal sprint to the finish. Joqueta through the finish. Wild also now the pig flip. Shappy working on that pig. Andrade working on the pig for the Aces. They are going the entire distance of the grid. 100-pound pig flip. This is going to be close, folks. Shappy with a slight edge over Andrade. They both need to cross with their instrument through the finish line. And the Wild are ahead. Nally going for those 20 chest-to-bar pull-ups. Boyd for the Aces. Both very, very good at these chest-to-bar pull-ups. 3 reps remaining for the Wild. The Wild have finished their chest-to-bar. 4 points of contact. Nally sprinting through the finish. Boyd now done with her chest-to-bar. Mork headed out. She has 6 plate handstand stepovers over the 45-pound plate.
Go, mommy, go!
Durant for the Aces now on the handstand walkovers. They are neck and neck. Stumble from the Aces. Mork, 4 points of contact. She is going to finish.
Go, go, go!
She's done. And now 3 lifts, 315 pounds. Kidder for the Wild. Jansen for the Aces. The sprinting back. Kidder sprinting, 4 points of contact. He's heading for the finish line. And the Wild are going to take the Northern Conference Championship. That was an unbelievably close race. That came down to this sprint relay. The Wild have just slightly edged out the Aces, and they will be facing the Fort Lauderdale Lions in the championship match tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here, Lakeland, Florida, at Valor Fitness. We will see you guys this afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Aces. The Aces did